welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, back inside the StreamYard studios for once again another a very exciting interview for you guys here today. I am Jake, representing the Fighting Now, the host of all Fighting Now interviews, and of course today we have a very special guest, and that this interview is being sponsored by our great friends over at Paul's Athena. They have an amazing event coming up on March 9th, live on Millions.co. You guys can go check them out at Paul FC. And without further ado, I've been waiting to get a chance to interview this individual for quite some time. And Paul's the thing that's making this happen. So thank you for them. And let's not waste any time. Help me welcome in the woman that is returning to Paul FC on March 9th, the amazing, the incredible Miss Andy Nguyen.
And
How you doing today, girl?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I am super excited to have you on. How have things been going for you?
Things are going good. I've been training my butt off, making sure my cardio is good because it's higher altitude up there. And I really, 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 really want this win because I'm 0-2 with the promotion. And I feel very flattered and honored that they put me on their poster. I can't believe I was on their poster, really. I would have been fine to be even on the prelims or undercard or whatever with the amateurs. I don't care. But I guess they think highly of me, and I feel really honored and lucky to be in this position. So I'm just busting my ass. So then it would be worth to watch. It would be worth it when they do fly me up and, I put on another show again. So, yeah.
And not to mention that, of course, I mean, this event has a little bit of mixture of both pros and amateur. And I got to get a chance to ask you, you've been a part of the sport for quite some time. How much does it mean the fact that, we're seeing so many different styles of fighting in this card?
Oh, I know. We have pro and Ami Muay Thai also. And I was like, why did you guys tell me you guys are doing Muay Thai? I was like, oh, I would have done Muay Thai. But, from transitioning, I was doing bare knuckle boxing for like the past 2 years, from 2 minutes, 5 rounds to 5 minutes, 3 rounds is a big, big, big difference. 5 minutes just feels like it's 10 minutes. I don't know how, but I know numbers don't lie. But I swear to God, when I was on the bag work yesterday, I was like, this 5 minutes feels like 10. Why is it taking so long? Yeah.
I mean, it's really incredible because, like we talked about this, though, is that Paul FC is bringing out so many different styles. We're seeing MMA to Muay Thai, both pro and amateur. Of course, we're seeing MMA styles. I mean, it's going to be a very exciting night on March 9th. I believe it's up in Calgary. Am I correct?
Yes, we're in Calgary.
Of course, another exciting event, and let's go and get things started. So we all get inspired by what we do best. Me when it comes to interviewing, but you when it comes to fighting. So what inspired you to start fighting?
I went to my first MMA fight here in Myrtle Beach about 14 years ago. I didn't want to go. I just moved here so my son could get closer to his father, and his father and his fiance had a MMA ticket, and they gave it to me, and I didn't really want to go, but I had nothing else to do because I didn't have any friends. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll just go and just drink some beers. And there were fights going on. The guys were fighting. I didn't pay attention, but these 2 girls came out, and it was Crystal Lawson versus Jordan McDonald at 115 pounds. And I was like, oh my God, girls could do this. And I was like, I ran over to my ex and I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. The fight hadn't even started. They just announced the females. And he was like, you know what? You would be so good at this. Now, rewind back, we did it when I was in high school. I was 18, he was 19. Now, when I saw this fight, I was 27, 28, he was 29. So we watched the fight, and then he got me into a gym, and then I won my first amateur fight within 3 months. I mean, I was not technical at all. It was not good. 3 months is not enough time. But 14 years ago, it's okay because not a lot of those girls are skillful back then either. So, yeah.
I mean, it's like going to amateur boxing event and you see ladies with them noodle arms, just like keep on throwing a punch with them noodle arms, and you're like, okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's something, right?
Yeah.
And of course, not to mention that, of course, you train at 2 places that you pretty much told me about, Combat Club and, of course, Fitness Edge MMA in South Carolina as well. Talk about how much they mean to you and how much they've helped you ever since you joined both those teams. You pretty much train at 2 different places, and it's not easy to say the least, right?
Um, so Combat Club is where I live in North Carolina, but Fitness Edge is where I started in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at right now. I'm at my best friend's house. This is Fontini's house, and uh, I just they've been with me since I was 1-0 as an amateur, so like 13, 14 years, and and I'm using the same cornerman Tebow, and that night that I saw him fight, I think he was the main event, and he was like knocked out of the night or something like that.
Yeah.
Now we're both in our 40s. But, actually, he just fought like uh he fought like last year on bare knuckle boxing, and he won. So, but yeah, he's my cornerman, so I have to be around here so I can hear his voice and stuff like that. Yeah.
And of course, not to mention that, of course, as a fighter, there's a lot of great things that we love about training, and of course, there was those days where it's the hardest part about training. So, from your perspective, what's been the hardest part about training?
Just transitioning from 2 minutes to 5 minutes. I'm like a fast paced 2 minuter, like just go go go. So in the beginning, I had that habit, so I had to slow down because you can't go 100% like that fast, like the whole 5 minutes. And so I finally got it down. I think. Well, I guess we'll find out next weekend. Yeah. So just that part was transitioning. It was a little rusty in some places, like the ground and like wall work and stuff like that. So I pretty much make sure I covered all areas, because if I lose, it's got to be something that I did, not what she did. So that's what's going on in my head.
Of course, not to mention that, of course, at the end of the day, as a fighter, we all have something that we go to after those long days of training, whether if it's drinking a beer, listening to music, or doing yoga. Do you have that one thing that you love to do after those long days of training?
I like to take a bath. Yeah, that's about it. I like to take a bath. Lately, Fontini and I have been watching Love is Blind, a reality show. It's so gay. But we don't have a lot of drama, so we like to watch drama, I guess.
I mean, who doesn't love a little bit of soap opera in our life, right?
Yeah.
And I gotta get just to ask you, as a big music nerd, we always have somebody or an artist or a band that hypes us up. So, what's the artist that you listen to that pretty much helps you hype you up in those training camps?
Um, I watched The Brother's Son on Netflix, or I think
Yeah.
it's Netflix. It was like last month or something, and so a lot of those music on that soundtrack I had downloaded on my Spotify, so it helped me with my cardio and make me just train hard and motivate me. So I am walking out to Battle Without Honor. That song was also in Kill Bill. It's when the little school girls coming out and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that.
I'm very excited for you because I mean I know most fighters, especially in the UFC, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I listen to rap," and I'm like, "Where's that one fighter that I'm like, okay, I like rock. Like, there's like a major difference in between rock and rap. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this because they're coming to like either Sleep Token or different bands, but all genre is cool with me. And the fact that what you're doing is gonna be very awesome. Like, I cannot wait for that. And of course, another thing too is that at the end of the day, not only as an interviewer, but of course you as a fighter, this sport has helped us out in so many ways. Not only on the physical aspects, but of course on the mental aspects. And I gotta ask you, how much has the sport helped you out mentally?
Oh, it made me a better person. Taught me a lot of integrity, patience, um, vulnerability, humility. It's just a lot. I've grown a lot with mixed martial arts in general. I wish I was in mixed martial arts a lot younger, because I was a little troubled kid growing up, especially coming from Los Angeles, moving over to Greenville, South Carolina. It was just a culture shock when I was 12, but it's okay. I turned out fine.
Yeah. And of course, another thing too, and for anybody that's watching this live or will watch this once when it gets posted, is that we talked about how much the sport has helped us out mentally. Well, for anybody that's watching this live, I struggle with depression on a daily, and this sport has helped me out tremendously. So if you're struggling right now, first of all, please go get the help that you need, and second of all, go be a part of something incredible, whether if it's Muay Thai, MMA, boxing, whatever it may be. Because I can tell you, not only will it help you out in such a physical aspects, but of course in the mental aspects. You'll feel like you're belonging in the sport, just like myself and Andy, because we're all just a bunch of misfits that love to fight.
Exactly. It's entertaining. It keeps me in shape, keeps me out of trouble. So yeah.
And not to mention that, and of course, once we get a chance to go to whatever gym that you're going to, you pretty much practically are surrounded by your own little family compared to how much you're being loved by your own family. Because when years ago when I first started training, going to Cypher MMA in Oceana, West Virginia, I realized that there are so many people who are just like me that struggle in so many ways, but they will understand you. So please, I encourage anybody to go give the sport a try because what we see so many incredible aspiring fighters like Andy and so many others that so many women on this card that have gone through so many different struggles that you don't even know what type of shit that they go through. And it's incredible. It's really, really incredible. And I gotta tell you this before I get to my next question. It's really inspiring to see what you're doing. I mean, not a lot of people can do what you're doing, go for bare knuckle, go to MMA, to Muay Thai, and you're really inspiring, and I hope you know that.
Oh, thanks, Jay. That's really nice of you.
I gotta show you my respect. I gotta show you how much I appreciate you because you and so many women on this card deserve all the love, and that's what you're gonna see on March 9th. And of course, the next question I have for you is that we talked about it. You pretty much started off from going to an MMA event and getting hooked up on this, and you spent 5 years in amateur because you was doing this part time, and now here you are as a pro, and it's crazy of the stories that you went through. Do you ever kind of look back on how you started to where you are now?
Yes, I wish I would have put more time as an amateur and took it serious. It was just a hobby. It was just a distraction of not going out to bars and going to clubs because I just moved here, didn't have any, friends. So what you do is you go out. Back then there was no dating apps either. So yeah, that took it away and fighting was a hobby. So I wasn't trying to be like a pro or anything until one of my coaches was like, it was Andrea's Lee ex-husband, Donnie Aaron. He was like, you need to turn pro. It was like, I was like, okay, sure. I'll do one pro fight before I die. So here we are, like, what, 30 fights later?
And of course, not to mention that, of course, we talked about this earlier, is that on March 9th, not only are you going to be seeing some pros, but of course you're going to be seeing some amateurs. And the one thing I love about Paul FC is that all the amateurs deserve this opportunity because they might not know what it feels like to be on a streaming platform to have their fights being live in front of so many people. But I can tell you this though, just because they're amateurs, don't mean that they're going to make the biggest impact. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. I remember the last show, they flew in a girl from Japan. That girl kicked ass. She was an amateur. I was like impressed. So I'm excited to see the amateurs that are coming on this one too. I actually got Sasha Rockwood a fight. It was supposed to be my teammate, but I got another girl. So we're having another American girl coming up, I believe. Yeah, to fight also from the Carolinas. So I'm excited to have that somebody to rock with me. There's only like two all women's promotion. There's another one, Invicta, and
Hmm.
both of them are only like having one show a year. I wish they both had more shows, but I always get excited about the girls. The girls just fight harder. I feel like maybe they feel or we feel like we have more to prove or something to ourselves and the fans and the audience. So it's like I said, like 14 years ago, I was literally at the MMA event, didn't even care about the guys. I don't even date fighters. They were fighting, and then until they announced like the females coming out, and that's when it caught my attention. So yeah.
And of course, not to mention that, of course, coming up tomorrow, we will have one of those amateurs that will be fighting on the card tomorrow at 7 p.m. And of course, this story has an amazing story, and I cannot wait for y'all to check that out. And of course, not only that, of course, we got to get a chance to talk about the big event coming up on March 9th. Such an amazing event. We talked about it from stacked to bottom. This card is filled. And I got to ask you this, though, is that what makes Paula Athena so special to you?
I love them. Jenica is great on the promotion. Mai's great too. Clay's the owner. They do it all for the fighters. They give gifts. They make us feel very important. They make sure that we have everything that we need. They they were very I'm actually flying in early. I'm flying up Friday because I want to get acclimated. I remember the first time I fought for them and I was just so gassed. I had no idea it was higher altitude. So I am flying in early. And they work with me to make the flights work. And so I really hope this promotion succeed. I want to see more. I actually told them I want to be a matchmaker once I retire for them once they debut in America, if they ever debut in America. So I'm excited about that role too.
And I'm kind of jealous of Canada because they have two back-to-back events in just 2 weeks. This weekend for bare knuckle, you got Jade Wong against Gabrielle Roman, and then next week the Paul FC event. I mean, this is gonna be a great 2 weeks, especially when it comes to women's fighting for sure, right?
Oh, I think so. Definitely.
And not to mention that, if you guys do join in the event in Calgary, I think I've seen Chuck Liddell is going to be there to sign some autographs. So if you guys go check out Paul FC, they have full information on that, and of course how you guys can go check this out. Of course, I got to get a chance to show some love because I really want them to succeed. I love what they're doing. I got a chance to check out the last event where you was involved, and it's so incredible to see not only as a supporter for women's fighting, but to see what they're doing for you and so many other women, it's so incredible. And I really hope that they go skyrocket to the top because they definitely deserve it.
Oh, definitely. They're flying people from all over the world, like
Oh
all over the
yeah.
world. I met Dakota from PFL from the last show and her mother. And I had no idea who Dakota was. And she just blew up like after that. It's a great, it's a great place to recruit and roster. So, yeah.
I mean, and like we said before, I mean, we're seeing ladies from all over the world. We're seeing it from America to Canada. I think from Thailand with the Muay Thai fights. I mean, it's something really incredible to see because you see different aspects from fighting from all over the world in this event.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're flying in people from the UK. I fought two Brazilians before, uh, people from Japan. I mean, everywhere.
And of course, not to mention that, of course, you have a fight on that card against, and I'm hoping I'm not butchering her name, but Kaina Sesson. I hope I said that right. If
I
I
don't
did,
know.
if I didn't, my apologies there, but kind of. But of course, you have a very big fight. Talk about what's going to be the game plan against a very experienced fighter like her, and what's the mindset going into this fight.
We're both experienced, to be honest. I originally had somebody else, but she couldn't get her visa in time, and she was going to fly in from the Philippines. So Kiana is coming in from Michigan. I know she's pretty active in the jiu-jitsu tournaments and everything. I think she's a champ over there. I think it's a great fight. I'm assuming she's gonna, want to take it to the ground, and of course, everybody's gonna be, I want to keep it standing. So it's gonna be a great fight. We'll just have to see.
And you guys can go check that out on millions.co. And of course, my last question to you, it's a very tough question, but I hope you're ready. But of course, at the end of the day, we all want to be recognized for something that we do in the sport. Me, I just want to be recognized as that one interviewer who's cheesy as fuck, but of course knows how to have great interviews. But you as a fighter, it can be something different. So my question to you is, what's something you want to be recognized for during your time of fighting?
I don't know. I guess people be like, Andy's crazy. Like she'll take a spontaneous fight out of the blue, blah blah blah. Probably that. It just sounds right because of my nickname, the Crazian. So
I really like that. And of course, if you guys want to follow the Creation, then make sure you guys go follow her on Instagram at Andy the Creation One on Instagram and other social media platforms. Because let me tell you guys, she's such a phenomenal individual who's been a part of the Fighting Out page for quite some time. And of course, before we let you go ahead and head off, I know you got a busy day, busy week ahead of you. But of course, to have you in here, I got to do this because I'm cheesy as fuck. But I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's been such an amazing time, and of course, I hope you had fun as much as I did. Do you have any final thoughts or comments you want to say?
No, you guys need to tune in on millions.co, and I'll see you guys next weekend.
And we'll see you next weekend. Best of luck to you, and I'll talk to you after this interview, okay?
All right, bye.
All right, see you, girl. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Andy the Crazian Nugent live with us here on StreamYard. It was such a phenomenal interview, and of course, it was a very great time. And of course, I hope you guys had a blast because tomorrow we have not one but two, yes, two interviews, back-to-back interviews for you guys. We have Reagan Groen and we have Amy, who's going to be part of such an amazing event coming up on March 9th. You guys can go check that out on millions.co. And of course, guys, please go follow Paul's Athena WFC. They're incredible. If you guys follow me on the Fighting Now on Instagram, they will be right there. You guys cannot miss it. This is a huge event. Real quick though, I want to send a shout out to Paul's Athena for making this interview happen. They sponsored this and many more interviews that we got coming up for you guys live on YouTube. So if you guys look at what you see, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe because we have many more interviews coming up, especially when it comes to this big event. And also, Sunday, myself and Chrissy Long, we're back, baby. And we have somebody joining us live this coming Sunday. We have a BYB fighter. Cannot wait to get a chance to have her on. And so many else more. But until then, guys, I am Jake representing the Fighting Now, saying so long and have a phenomenal day.